Have you ever pondered the dark side of the human mind, the corners of psychology that are grim and often shrouded in mystery? It's a question that tickles the curiosity of many. We are drawn, somewhat paradoxically, to understanding the shadowy depths of our own psyche. These darker aspects, though unsettling, hold a certain allure. It's the uncharted territory of the mind that intrigues us, calls to us. Today we explore the abyss, diving deep into the dark side of psychology. Consider the infamous Charles Manson, a leader who manipulated minds to commit heinous crimes. A name that still sends shivers down spines, Charles Manson was not just a criminal, but a master manipulator. He had an uncanny ability to bend the will of his followers, leading them down a path of destruction. Manson's power lay in his understanding of human psychology and his ability to exploit it. He created a cult, the Manson family, where he played the role of a messiah. He used techniques of isolation, creating an us versus them mentality, and instilled a deep-seated fear of an impending apocalypse. His followers, desperate for belonging and meaning, were easy prey to his manipulations. But what made Manson's psychological tactics so potent? He used a twisted form of love bombing, showering his followers with affection and acceptance, creating a pseudo-family. This bond, combined with the use of hallucinogenic drugs, made his followers susceptible to his suggestions and commands. The tragic outcome of Manson's manipulations was the Tate LaBianca murders in the summer of 1969. Directed by Manson, his followers carried out a brutal killing spree that shook the world. The horrific acts committed by the Manson family were a stark demonstration of the power of manipulation and the susceptibility of the human mind. Manson's story is a chilling example of the power of manipulation and the dark side of psychology. It reveals how a charismatic leader can exploit psychological tactics to control and influence others, leading to tragic outcomes. Or take the Stanford Prison Experiment, a study that exposed the alarming effects of power and authority on human behavior. In the summer of 1971, psychologist Philip Zimbardo conducted one of the most controversial experiments in the history of psychology at Stanford University. The premise was simple. Participants were randomly assigned to play either guards or prisoners in a mock prison. But what happened next was anything but simple. The guards quickly embraced their role with a disturbing enthusiasm, adopting cruel and sadistic behaviors. They subjected the prisoners to psychological torture, humiliation, and dehumanizing conditions. The prisoners, in turn, accepted their roles as well, demonstrating submission to the whims of their captors. This wasn't just a game of pretend. The participants had internalized their roles to such an extent that the experiment had to be discontinued after just 6 days instead of the planned 2 weeks. The Stanford Prison Experiment revealed a dark side of human nature that is uncomfortable to confront. It demonstrated how quickly and easily ordinary individuals can descend into tyranny when given power, and how readily others will submit to such authority. It showed us that the line between good and evil is thinner than we like to believe, and that it can be crossed under the right circumstances. The Stanford Prison Experiment serves as a grim reminder of how authority can manipulate our actions and bring out the worst in us. So, what have we learned from these unsettling tales? In the exploration of the human psyche, we've journeyed through the eerie corridors of manipulation and authority, unmasking the chilling potentials that lie dormant within our minds. We've examined the case of Charles Manson, a master manipulator who, with his charisma and psychological prowess, coerced others into committing heinous acts. We've also delved into the Stanford Prison Experiment, a stark reminder of the corrosive effects of unchecked authority. It showcased how ordinary individuals, when given absolute power, can spiral into a realm of inhumanity, blurring the lines between role-playing and reality. These narratives aren't merely tales of horror but warnings, shedding light on the perils of the mind when swayed by manipulation and authority. They are stark reminders of our susceptibility to external influences, our capacity to harm, and the ease with which our moral compass can be skewed under certain circumstances. While these chapters of psychology may be disconcerting, they serve a purpose. They compel us to confront the darkness within, to question our actions and our motivations. They challenge us to recognize our capacity for both cruelty and kindness, for destruction and creation. These stories remind us that while psychology can be a tool for understanding and healing, it also reveals the darker aspects of our nature. The challenge lies in acknowledging this darkness and learning from it.